colors. Summer.
Hey. I don't know how to do intros to vlogs. I'm so sorry. I'm Emily. Welcome back to my channel. I don't know what's going on with my hair. Sure, why not? Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Emily, if you're new here. I am an actor and a singer and I read. So let's just get right into this video. As you see, I am doing the 24-hour reading challenge. I'm not reading for 24 hours straight. I believe in sleep. I believe in completing your sleep cycles. I believe in health. I will not be pulling an all-nighter for this challenge, but I will be reading in very large chunks, and I just really love doing this reading challenge. I think this is the third time I'm doing it, I want to say. I did one back in November and then one about a year ago. It really just picks up my momentum. It helps me kind of tackle my physical TBR. It kind of focuses me hold for car. It focuses me into reading in a way that I'm not usually focused. There's something about having that timer set that just gets you right into it. I started last night. I am an hour and 40 minutes in. I finished this book, The Husbands, which was a release, I want to say in April, and I started on page 242 and finished it. That's like about 100 pages. We're off to a good start. This book is like a very unique concept. I really appreciated that about it. It moved very quickly. It was funny at parts. The ending was slightly underwhelming and I gave it a 3.75, like a solid 3.75. I would definitely recommend it. It's basically about this woman who comes home one day to like a husband, but she's never met this husband, and like her house looks different, has different decorations. She's like, what's going on? Like there's things in her life that are different, and then this husband goes back up into the attic and another husband comes down and everything in her life changes again. So it's like these husbands are like basically cycling in and out of her life, and each husband, like she's kind of a different person and her house is different and her life is different. Definitely like there was something said in the beginning of this book, something that like happened the night before the husbands started coming out of the attic, and it was never like answered at the end, and that kind of was not really satisfying. But again, this was a really fun release. As a reader, I'm always looking for things that are like different, because I think a lot of times you read rom-coms, they're all kind of the same. A lot of the fantasy tropes are a bit of the same, so it's nice to kind of throw some stories in there that are just like completely different and added some variety. This is the first book, kind of, not full book, of the challenge, and I gave it a 3.75. Right now I'm listening to The Idea of You on Spotify audiobooks, and let me see, I'm almost done. What like speed do you guys listen to audiobooks? If I have my AirPods in, anywhere from a 2.5 to a 3, but if I don't, I'm usually like a 1.8 to a 2. Let me know what you guys are. I feel like I might listen too fast. Yeah, so I have 3 hours and 21 minutes left, but if I listen at 3 times the speed, it'll be about a little over an hour. The Idea of You is a movie now with Anne Hathaway. It's basically about this woman, her husband like left her for a younger woman. She has a daughter who in the book is about 12. I think in the movie she might be a little older. Basically, she meets this like boy band, kind of similar to like One Direction, like Jonas Brothers vibes. Her and like the 20-year-old guy and the boy band like start dating and like maybe fall in love, who knows? Yeah, it's just kind of about that and the struggles and like baggage that comes with that kind of relationship, because he's like super famous, which is a dynamic, and then the older woman, younger man dynamic is obviously not as accepted as the older man, younger woman dynamic. It's a really cool book, and I'm really excited to watch the movie because Jean-Luc, my partner, is in the movie for just a small scene, but you know, he got to work with Anne Hathaway, and she was amazing, and she was very professional and very sweet, and they had like really cool conversations. So anybody that says Anne Hathaway is a bitch is a misogynist. Enough chatting here. I started this book last night, The Comeback, which I've had for a while now. This was my book of the month pick. It was an add-on. I'm only on page 16. A deep dive into the psyche of a young actress raised in the spotlight under the influence of a charming, manipulative film director in the moment when she decides his time is up. So basically, like the beginning of this so far has been like she kind of like disappeared from the spotlight a year ago. She went home to like live with her parents, and it was like right after she won a Golden Globe Award, she was like, I'm done, bye. And so you kind of have to like figure out the story behind why she left the spotlight, I guess. This is also on my TBR for May. Anyway, let's get back into this, because I've got a lot of reading to do here.
Lonesome dove, folded on the lawn chair in all the colors. Summer love.
I don't know how much I'm gonna like this book, but I really want to play this character. Like, if this were a movie, I don't feel this strongly every time I read a book. Like, sometimes I'm like, oh, it'd be fun to play this character, but like this character, I think I really want to play her. I am on page 98, chapter 18, and we are almost 3 hours in. I feel like I've read a lot so far in like not a ton of time, probably because I started at the end of another book, but I am loving this book. I think this might be a 5-star read for me. It has all of my favorite things. It's a character study about a woman on the verge, basically. This is not focused on me. Sorry, that was like a little blurry. Yeah, I just love stories about... I just love a good character study where you get a character kind of walking around their own mental landscape and like trying to sort through their past and their present and their future. And that's definitely what this is. Even better when that character is like a woman in her 20s. Even better when the backdrop is Los Angeles and like the film scene and like the absolute dark underbelly of like what it means to be successful in the film industry in Hollywood, specifically as a woman. I love any book that has LA as a backdrop, but specifically when it gets into like the gritty kind of like you're looking at it through the lens of like this is supposed to be glamorous, but it's not at all. I love that so much. I've laughed out loud a few times. Ella Berman, I'm obsessed with her writing. Like, this is her debut novel. I think it's so good. She has opinions about LA. They come through in very humorous ways through her writing. To me, I find them humorous, and I just really, really appreciate it. I appreciate so much about this book. I honestly had like kind of low expectations for it because its rating on Goodreads average is 3.74. I think this might be a 5-star for me. I'm really, 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 really enjoying it. It's very much like a product of the Me Too movement as well. There are so many elements of this book that I love individually, and they're all working together so nicely. And I've had this book for so long, probably over a year, and it's one of those books that like the Goodreads average rating has kind of deterred me from. It just goes to show, like, sometimes if a book seems interesting to you, just read it. You might like it better than the average person does. I really want to play this character really badly. This might be top 3 characters I want to play in a book. I am loving this. I'm loving every second of it. I'm gonna keep reading now. I'm also just like seeing this as a movie in my mind, and it's stunning. I just think this would be a visually stunning film. I want to make this movie so badly. I don't often feel this way when I read books either. I'm just feeling very inspired. Okay, we're at like 4.5 hours. No new, like, super important updates. I'm still loving the book. It's just getting better and better. Just getting more and more into all the things that I was talking about that I love so much about it. Having a little coffee. I'm gonna take a little break. I have a callback in person in Manhattan this week, and I don't know how many of you guys are like familiar with acting. You know, since COVID and even before COVID, like, auditions have been self-tapes. So I haven't been in the room for an audition, even for like Broadway auditions, which is crazy, doing a Broadway song in your kitchen. Like, it's just really bizarre. I have not been in person for an audition or a callback. Zoom callbacks are so weird, by the way. Like, as a medium, I don't understand who I'm supposed to be looking at, what my reality is. It's very weird. But this will be my first in-person audition, callback, whatever, since literally like maybe early 2020. It's not like super hard material, but I'm just like anticipating maybe a little too much, like not knowing what to do with my body or anything, just because I haven't done this in so long. So I'm just gonna spend a little time just like prepping for that. It's on Thursday, so I have 5 days, and it's not a ton of material. It's the 2 scenes that I auditioned with originally. I'm just gonna take a quick break from reading and work on this now. Anyway, I'm gonna do that and then get back to reading. Yeah, that was a 5-star for me. The comeback. I don't know why more people did not talk about this when it came out in 2020. I'm obsessed. I feel like this is specifically curated to my taste. And when I say I want to play Nesta the most in ACOTAR, I think this character might surpass Daisy Cates for characters that I want to play. Like, she might be in the top 2. I love her. I love the story. I love discovering 5-star reads that people don't know about. I know that like my experience of this book wasn't tainted like at all by hype or anything, and so I know that like I really, really loved it. The wind is like making my door make noises. It's kind of creepy. Loved this book so much. 5-star read. So we have these 2 down. I have 17 hours and 25 minutes left, which means I've been reading for 6.5 hours, I think. I need to like clear my mind, rate my book on Goodreads, and then I will pick my next one. I think I know what I'm gonna do, but I just need to like take a step away for a second. Worm's eye view. Why do I look like a ghost? So I tried starting Powerless last night and I fell asleep, but this is going to be my next book. This is the novella that comes after Powerful, Lauren Roberts' book. It was very big last year. The sequel, Reckless, is coming out in July. So this came out in April, and it's a little novella. I think it's like a prequel novella about one of the characters. I spent some time yesterday brushing up on the plot of Powerless because I totally forgot everything. I kind of just had to like brush up on like what happened with this specific character. It's from the perspective of Hayden's best friend, Dina. And so I had to just kind of like remember who she was and like what her journey is in the first book. So yeah, this is like a very short book. Obviously it's a novella. It's about 200 pages and it's a tiny little book. The pages are very short. And then last night also Jean-Luc and I watched the Idea of You movie. I haven't finished the book yet, but it was so different from the book that I'm just like, I don't feel like it's honestly spoiled anything. I'm so proud of Jean-Luc. It was just so weird because he's in it, and I totally forgot because I was so invested in the scenes. And then I forgot Jean-Luc was in it, and then all of a sudden he like came on the screen and I was like, whoa, that's weird. Just seeing him with like Anne Hathaway. I think I prefer the writing of the book. There are certain things that really like raise the stakes, I think, but I also like understand why they changed certain things for the movie, which I can get into more like when I review the book. But anyway, today I am going to New Jersey, so I'm gonna be listening to that in the car and then probably starting another audiobook in the car. I'm not sure exactly what yet, and then I'd love to read this whole book tonight. Let's go read. Yeah, I also just remembered I auditioned to play Anne Hathaway's ex-husband's new wife, Ava, in this movie like a while ago. Probably at this point like 2 years ago. And it's always weird, like this is starting to happen to me where I'll be watching something and then all of a sudden like I'm like, I've heard this before, I've said these words before. And then I'm like, oh yeah, like I auditioned with this scene. It's like very weird. The actress that ended up getting the part was like perfect for it, and she did such a good job. The original scene too is like 4 pages and it ended up getting cut down to like 4 lines. It's always so weird. I don't know. I'm gonna get back to listening now. I'm gonna shut up. Okay, I just got home. It's pretty late on Mother's Day. This lighting is just so heinous. Jean-Luc's playing a video game in the other room. I finished The Idea of You and I gave it a 4.5. It's very, like I said, very different from the movie, and I would definitely read the book before the movie. I think the movie is made for a very specific reason and the book was made for a very specific reason, and I feel like they're not the same reason, and the ending's very different, and I don't really know what to do with myself after the ending, but I gave it a 4.5. I thought it was beautifully written and I really enjoyed this woman's perspective on life and this experience that she went through. Yeah, so that's that. And then I started listening to Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. I've only read Just for the Summer, which is technically the 3rd book in the series, but you don't have to read them all in order or whatever. But I do want to read Part of Your World and Yours Truly because I think Abby Jimenez is amazing. I started listening to that, and we have about 14 and a half hours left. So we have 10 hours down. I've probably read the equivalent of 2 books at this point in 10 hours. I really like Part of Your World so far. I'm really tired, so I'm gonna like eat food and then maybe read before bed. absolutely a slob right now. I have no makeup on and I just got back from my run, but okay, I wanted to give a quick update. I finished Powerful yesterday. This was the quickest read ever. Like, if you're looking to get out of a book slump and you've read the first one, this was so quick. I actually gave it a 4-star, like for what it is, which is a short novella in between books. I thought it just really delivered. Like, I really loved the characters. The end, like, I can't really say, like, my main thing about this book is like what happens at the end, which is a spoiler not only to this book, but to the first book as well. So I'm not gonna get super into it. It kind of begs the question, like, what was the point of what I just read? Lauren Roberts is really good at banter. I did really love these characters. And then I also just finished the audiobook for Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. I gave it a 4-star, mainly because I really liked all of the elements of this book. I liked that it's a rom-com, but my hair is such a mess. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm filming myself right now. It is a rom-com, but I felt like the main characters were a bit older and there were themes in it and things that were discussed that were a little heavier, had a little bit less surface level than most rom-coms. The only thing that was really missing for me, honestly, was like the chemistry between the two of them. I know that probably sounds weird, but they kind of fell in love and I was like, how did that happen? That's the reason why it's really 4 stars for me. So I have about 8 hours left. I think I want to read Before We Were Innocent by Ella Berman, who is also the author of The Comeback. It's on Spotify audiobooks. It looks like a really good summer book too. A summer in Greece where 3 best friends ends in the unthinkable when only 2 return home. So it's basically about these 2 girls that come back from this vacation in Greece and they're cleared of having any involvement in like this other friend's death that happened on this vacation. And they were never convicted. One of them was like an opportunist and kind of capitalized on the infamy of that circumstance and became a motivational speaker. And then the other one resolved to make her life as small as controlled as possible so she wouldn't risk losing everything all over again. And it almost worked, except now Joni needs a favor, the opportunist. And when she turns up at her old friend's doorstep asking for an alibi, Bess has no choice but to say yes. She still owes her, but as the 2 friends desperately try to shake off their past, they have to face reality. Can you ever be an innocent woman when everyone wants you to be guilty? Okay, hey guys. I finished Before We Were Innocent. I think, you know, it's one of those things where like I really wanted answers and the ending was just like, it wasn't as clear as I wanted it to be. I think if you go into this looking at it as like a murder mystery, like you won't be satisfied, but if you go into it looking at it as a character study, which is, I think, really what it is and what it's advertised as, it really does hit the mark. So I think I am gonna give it a 4. I really loved the characters. This author, Ella Berman, who did The Comeback, she writes characters in a way that I just want to play them. I wasn't as connected to either one of these characters like I was to the main character in The Comeback. I really do appreciate her writing and her character work. So yeah, I'll give it a 4. I have about an hour and a half left. I'm literally editing this whole video today and publishing it. So I think what I'm gonna do is pick another audiobook and then listen to that as I make the thumbnail and start dumping footage. And then by the time I'm done with that, maybe I will have finished the challenge, do a little outro, and then be done. I'm just gonna go with The Algebra of Wealth, a simple formula for financial security. This challenge has been full of fiction, which is great. I need like a break from fiction. You'll learn how to find and follow your talent, not your passion, when making career decisions, how to ride and optimize big economic waves, what small steps you can take that pay big returns later, and how stoicism can help you minimize spending and develop better financial habits. I have pretty good financial habits. I feel like I am pretty smart when it comes to my finances, but I still think that this will be helpful. Like, this will be a nice little food for thought. I need like a break from narrative, so we're gonna do this. Come on, let's go. Building wealth. Okay, we're done. We're done with the reading challenge. You know, these are always so much fun because they really get me back into the swing of things. For most of the challenge, like, I'm very excited and I feel really motivated to read. Like, anti-reading slump. I just feel like I'm really like, I feel the momentum, but definitely by the end, I'm like ready to take a day or 2 off of reading and not have that pressure of like the timer and like all that stuff. So I am happy to be done with it, but I wanted to, before we sign off for today, give you the stats of like how many pages I read and how many pages I read like per hour and per minute. You can stay tuned for my May reading wrap up for like a real full cohesive review of each of these books. So this is The Husbands. I finished this book. This was the first book. You were there, you remember. And I read 96 pages of this book. Next, I sat down and read The Comeback in One Swing by Ella Berman. Absolutely love this. This was 373 pages. Then I finished listening to The Idea of You and watched the movie, which was equivalent to 107 pages of listening. Then I read this novella, Powerful. This was short, this was quick, and this was 221 pages total. Then I listened to The Whole Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez's book, and that was 400 pages even. Then I listened to Before We Were Innocent by Ella Berman, complete book, and that was 384 pages. And then I started the book The Algebra of Wealth and got 33 pages, the equivalent of 33 pages in. I'm listening to that as well. My average reading pace was definitely up for this challenge, and I think part of that is probably due to audiobook. I think I listen probably a tiny bit faster than I actually read, but I also think like Powerful, this book, it's a quick book. Like the pages are smaller, there's not a ton of words on each page. I also felt that the books that I was physically reading in addition to Powerful, like The Comeback and The Husbands, I did feel like the way those books were written and the way they were laid out, I felt like I was reading them a little bit faster than average. So probably a combination of audiobook and then just the specific books that I physically read. For whatever reason, I feel like I was reading them faster than average. My first two 24-hour book challenges, I averaged about 60 pages an hour, which is roughly a page a minute. This one, I averaged 68.5 pages an hour, which is about 1.14 pages per minute. So it's a little faster than usual. So yeah, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you've read any of these, if any of these look good to you, what you thought of them, any other upcoming releases that you want me to check out, comment below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.